Hello everybody, so today's video will be not a pick a card but just me talking about some personal experiences that I already wanted to share for a long time. Maybe about 2 years ago I planned to do this video. So I want to make sure that you know what is the purpose of this video. It's not my intention to hurt anybody's feelings. I want to be very respectful and compassionate for everyone involved in my personal story. I also want to make sure that I tell my truth, I tell my experience and my personal point of view, how I see this situation that I have been. Hopefully it will help somebody that is in the similar situation as I was. So first I'm going to talk about my twin flame. So I was 23 years old when I met him for the first time. It was my first serious relationship. I didn't have any relationship before. I was in love one time, but I wasn't in a serious relationship. And I must admit that I didn't have any life experiences. I didn't have a lot of experiences. I was quite naive, I was young, but the main reason why I got in this quite toxic situation is that because I felt so in love with this person. I felt so much connected spiritually, emotionally, physically. I thought this person is the love of my life. So at that point of time I didn't know the difference between unconditional love and sacrificing myself for the sake of this person and just don't have any self-esteem, self-worth, and completely crossed my boundaries, completely sacrificed myself. So when I got in this relationship, I was heavily manipulated. I didn't know at the time, but I was manipulated to being not myself. I felt pressure to be not myself. So I felt huge pressure to dress certain way, to act certain way, and to please other person. I was in a really heavy codependent relationship. And I didn't know at the time that I was addicted to this person. It was an addiction. And I know it was like strong spiritual connection, and I rationalized this connection in my head because I thought big love needs to have sacrifices and I have to sacrifice myself for the other person. And I also didn't know that I had huge fear of abandonment. I was aware that I didn't want to leave this person, but I thought maybe if I leave this person, I will kill myself, not want to live anymore, because I was so heavily attached. I thought I was in love, but I was attached to this person, so I didn't want to leave. Even when the things went so toxic that the normal person reaction would be leave right now, just leave this person, don't ever come back. But I stayed. So I think we were living with this person maybe for 2 years. So we were living together another 3 years. So it was 5-year relationship, okay? So another 3 years it was in and out situation. We would come back together and we would just separate and then come back together again. So for 2 years I was living with this person. I got pregnant. The sad truth is that I didn't want to get pregnant, but I thought I was. So I was manipulated and it was a very strange decision. So I'm not going deep into my decision to get pregnant with this person. So after my firstborn, I made another decision to have another baby. So I have 2 kids with this person. So the first toxic thing that happened was manipulation and lies. I know that consciously maybe this person didn't want to manipulate me or betray me. He didn't have any like bad intentions towards me. It just happened. So I don't blame anyone in this story. I think that everyone, including me and this person, learned valuable lessons from this. So I'm not blaming anyone here. But at the time I felt victimized by the circumstances. I felt just betrayed. I felt so heartbroken that when I knew that I was manipulated. So how I was manipulated? First thing, this person that I was in a relationship had few women in his life. During our committed relationship, he emotionally cheated on me. So basically what happened, he flirted with other women. He had a few that I know, a few relationships with women that I didn't know at the time. So he was not telling me that he is talking with other women. And I mean by the phone, also by text messages and face to face. He was meeting other people. Even the week before I had to give birth to my child, he was meeting other women. And even though it might be not like romantically, but still he was meeting, and he didn't tell me that he was meeting this woman. So this information just came very recently, like maybe a couple months ago. I just found out this. But also during our 5-year relationship, I knew that something was wrong. I knew that there are red flags, but I ignored it because I was so in love. I didn't want to know the full truth, and people around me were saying, look, like he is lying to that person, maybe he lies to you. And I said, no, he doesn't lie to me. He's a good person, because I only saw the good traits in him. I only pictured himself as an angel in my head. I didn't want to see the dark sides of his personality. Okay, another thing that we had a lot of problems. We had many arguments together, when, especially in the first year of our relationship, it got to the point when it was unable to just communicate what we are feeling. It was so toxic. We were not able to have common ground with each other, and we tried to talk with each other, but during the whole relationship I feel like this person was not emotionally available. And maybe but I'm not again blaming him, because I think that the reason why he was not emotionally available is that he didn't have such an emotional intelligence as I am. And I'm not telling that I have, like, I'm superwoman or something, I'm superhuman, but you have to be on the same page, and you have to know how to communicate, and you have to have a similar communication styles to be together as a couple. So we didn't communicate well, and this person didn't want to, my twin flame didn't want to even talk about heavy subjects. He always avoided heavy subjects. He didn't want to talk about his feelings, his emotions. He didn't want to reflect on his life. To this day, I think that majority of things that happened, he didn't reflect at all. But I went to psychotherapy. I went to psychotherapy for 3 years, and it made much better for me. I made a huge progress. I understood myself. It helped me actually to get out of this toxic situations. But actually, I only let go of expectation to get back to this person only couple months ago, because it was such a long process to let this person go that it almost, I felt so helpless that I couldn't let him go. I was so addicted to this person because my trauma was holding me back. I have a huge trauma of abandonment. It is stemming from my childhood, so I didn't want to let him go. And I was attaching myself to this person for such a long time. I felt helpless. I felt so helpless of not letting him go. I wanted to let him go. I know that it will make 10 times happier. It will be such a huge difference if I let him go, but I couldn't at that time. So it was only a couple of months ago that I let him go of my life. And it was a huge release and relief. Okay, the last thing that happened in my twin flame relationship with my ex-partner is that we never actually emotionally connected because of the inability to talk openly what my twin flame feels. I feel like I was very open and I really wanted to make this relationship work. I wanted to try psychotherapy, I wanted to go to therapy, I wanted to grow together with this person, I wanted to help him grow, but unfortunately my twin flame decided not to go to psychotherapy, except one little occasion that we went probably 5 times to the psychotherapist, and it was maybe 5 sessions that we had. But it didn't make any like huge difference in our relationship, because of course we would have to attend those psychotherapy sessions, I think, for a couple of years to make this work, to make this relationship work. At least a couple of years, if not more. So this person didn't want to go to any psychotherapy. He didn't want to reflect. He didn't go to psychotherapist himself, like individually. And I was really digging my head into the spirituality, into like all this esoteric spiritual field. Also, I did my shadow work, I did my psychotherapy, and I'm still doing at this day. I'm still dealing with my shadow self, and I'm still doing emotional vlogs on myself, and I'm still struggling sometimes. But this person, he didn't want to do self-reflection, and for that reason we couldn't emotionally connect with each other, and it created a huge gap between us, and we felt disconnected, and that gap was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it got to the point that I felt like a stranger to this person. I felt like I don't know this person. I don't connect with him. And it was over. Actually, it was a blessing in disguise, because I knew it went for such a long time that I gradually got to know that, okay, this is not for me. I want a person who is emotionally available, who lives with me, who wants to spend time with me, who wants to emotionally connect. And I wasn't getting any of this. This person didn't want to live with me. He didn't want to emotionally connect. He didn't want to talk on emotional topics. And also there was dishonesty, like I said. He was always putting himself into third-party situations, even though that wasn't always sexual situations. But still it was a dishonesty, because I didn't know about this stuff. And when I confronted him, he didn't want to change, and he thought maybe this is okay to have connections outside, like connections with the opposite sex outside of our relationship. So I knew that our values just don't connect, and we are basically very different people. Another thing that it was so hard for me to let go is that I have like this huge attraction to him. I had this huge spiritual and physical attraction to him. Suddenly it was gone. When I released this person, it was gone. Like, I don't know how it happened, just miracle happened, but now I don't feel anything to this person. I don't feel any like attraction, I don't feel physical attraction, I don't feel spiritual attraction. This is crazy. I felt so relieved that I finally got out. So if you're losing hope, if you will not be able to let go of your twin flame, you will be able. It required for me so much suffering, so much tears. I cried almost every day for the past, I don't know, 4 years. I probably cried a bucket of tears. I'm not lying. Like I was so heartbroken. It was the most challenging thing, or one of the most challenging things, because I had other challenging things in my life, to let go of this person. But it was so helpful, and I grew so much spiritually that I feel very grateful for this person, and I feel very grateful to have this lesson in my life. If you lost hope that you will never be able to let go of your twin flame, don't. Please have hope. You will be able to let go if you choose to do so.